Hey everybody, welcome to some new Clone Evolution content. Got some good news and I got some bad news today. Now let's start with the good news. Is I got a whole bunch of action going in the game. And the new software I'm using is working okay, but I'm going to try uninstalling it and reinstalling it. And my voice is really messed up today because I had to quit vaporizing for a couple days. I was getting some really bad side effects from using it too much. So I figured I'm not going to quit the vaporizer forever, but I am going to give it a few days of not using it, see how it goes. Now, I was talking about it before, my whole safety trials thing. That was the thing, is my vaporizer is too strong. It eventually gets to you to the point where it fucking causes serious side effects, so I was like, shit. That's the main reason I never released it. No, and I got some good news too, is I started to finally notice who it was that was sending the good flowers. Oh, it was that guy, fuck. Meant to send him some bigger roses. And these people keep sending flowers, so really I should send some back. But yeah, this guy subbed to my channel, so he gets the extra big roses. I don't know if anyone else is subbed to my channel and they're on this list. Maybe put your name in the chat so I can give you some bigger roses too. Try to give a special shout out or gift to all my viewers. Holy cow, is my voice different or what? No, it feels like when I quit smoking weed, my voice gets higher and higher pitched to the point where, I don't think I sound like Mike Tyson, but it's definitely not as deep as it is when I vaporize. I think it's a little bit clearer and easier to understand. I'm hoping so. Now, back when I used to do public radio, I would make sure that I never vaporized anything for a few days before I went into the station, just to try to get as clear voice as I could. No, and I'll be able to share with you guys some of the experience of what it's like to be a high concentrate or high potency concentrate vaporizer long term. So I don't know, if anyone's ever like eaten a whole bunch of the same thing, like I don't know if it ever happened to you before, or you're living on your own, you ordered, or you went grocery shopping, you got some like celery or some onions or something. Then you're all out of food and you have only that left. So you're like, shit, I'm just going to eat a whole fucking bag of celery. Well, I tried that once when I had my own place. And I like even tried spicing it up and stuff because I had spices but only had celery. So I was like cooking in a frying pan, making this celery, and I was like, man, it tasted really good. Spiced it up with garlic and everything. But there was a problem. I never even realized this before this happened. Is anything that you put into your body, if you put too much of it, you'll have an allergic reaction. So when I started eating the celery, it's like the first few bowls of it tasted pretty good. But as I started to be getting like a whole stomach full of it, my body started to reject it. And it just started tasting like really fucking bitter. I was like, holy, where did this odd taste come from? Then I found out that if I put it in the fridge, ate it a couple days later, that taste was gone. It was just because I ate too much of it. So anyways, that same thing happens when I vaporize concentrates too much. It's like the first few days, it'll taste great. Then all of a sudden, if I reach the point where it's reaching toxicity in my body, all of a sudden the vaporizer hoots start tasting toxic. And it's weird too, because it'll be the same bowl, the same weed, same hash, everything. It'll just taste like fucking shit. And it's funny too, because at first I thought it was just the weed going bad. But then I put it down and I'm like, I'll come back in a day or two and try it again. That same bowl that tasted like shit went back to tasting good again. Just when I wasn't allergic to it. Now, it might not happen to everyone the same way, because I was actually born, my mom was using cannabis a lot when she was pregnant. So I was born like addicted to cannabis, and even with the shakes and stuff. It's pretty awful. She never actually told me about it until she got drunk one day. And she's like, oh yeah, I used to smoke all the time when I was pregnant. Now, so what I'm going to do for the next few episodes, I'll give you guys some updates on what it's like on the the positives and negatives of what's good about vaporizing and what I had to quit for. Well, some of the drawbacks of quitting and some of the plus sides. Whoa, yeah, that was that guy. I was just gonna say I just fucking spawned up a blue guy. I wanted to see who it was. It was that fire guy. Now I know like a lot of TV shows and stuff that go on and on about, oh wait, I was just going to mention that before I forget. One of the viewers just posted in the viewer chat for yesterday's episode. He's like, you see this, what's his name, Alex? His viewer was telling me that once I finish, wait, he was saying once I get to level 115, the game will give me the remaining Alex fragments I need. I don't know if that's really true. Seems weird. I don't recall getting any other fragments when I made it to a certain level, but I haven't heard any viewers giving me wrong advice yet, so I'll take it on that and say he's probably right. Fuck! Now I was hoping that I would be able to get some of the, whatchamacallit, none here either. The Putin fragments. I think I only need 4 or 6 to re-clone him. Let's check it out. Yeah, I need 4. Now that's one of the major advantages to quitting vaping, is I already noticed my short-term memory starting to improve a little. So I'm like, shit, that was really contributing to it. I should have known. No, it was kind of scary how bad the short-term memory thing can get if you just keep doing it. I know a lot of times I was saying that I didn't really mind having no short-term memory, but fuck man, it gets really annoying sometimes. It's like what the worst case would be is like right after I had my concussion, I had it the worst, where it was like I would all of a sudden be watching TV, and I'd be like, shit, I need to get a drink, I'm really thirsty. So I would go upstairs, and then I'd forget what I went upstairs for, come back down, and then as soon as I sat down, I'd be like, shit, I'm thirsty. Oh, fuck, I went up to get a drink. So I'd go upstairs again, same thing would happen. And sometimes like 7 or 8 times in a row. So I'm like, holy fuck, man, this is horrible. It's like I actually have to like write down what I'm gonna go do, because 10 seconds later I'll forget. Yeah, and I noticed it was really bad for work too. Like I was telling my work insurance agency, I'm like, yo guys, like I can't remember anything. It's like my boss could like tell me to do something, like 2 seconds later I won't remember it. And that's really dangerous in my type of work. Because he could be telling me like, oh, something dangerous is going to happen, make sure you stand back. And what happens if I forget? So my government insurance agency, they didn't give a shit. They just tried to send me back to work, or they're going to cut off all my fucking medical bills coverage. So then I ended up having to pay all my own medical bills. So I was like, holy fuck, getting injured at work is really something else in Canada. I don't know, I just figured I'd warn viewers, if anyone's in Canada and you're depending on government insurance to bail you out when you get injured, fucking don't. They'll screw you, where it's like unions, I know like in most cases are not too, but the private sector unions are pretty honest because they have to be, because they're not getting government money or anything. But those government unions, what they do is they give money to like other union members, and they fucking despise giving money to anyone who's not part of the union. Then that government insurance agency that looks after injured workers, their list of employees has a whole bunch of people that are on the sunshine list as being some of the richest paid employees in all of government. Like I think it was like close to $1 million a year. I was like, holy shit, I can't even get my medical bills covered. That was fucked. Well anyways, I don't really want to talk about the whole medical situation, so I'll try to get more into Entropia, or not Entropia, Clone Evolution. But yeah, that was the other thing, guys. It's fucking hot as hell again. I think my freaking neighbor, oh sorry, I'm not even wearing pants. It's like, my neighbor managed to fucking go on vacation or to a cottage or something. So at least I don't have to worry about keeping quiet for his kids. Now, and the whole other thing with the vaporizer, I think I went over a lot of this with my Entropia show this morning, but I'll give you guys a heads up of what you can expect if you've never actually quit smoking concentrates after doing it for like decades. Oh, I got him dizzy. That was a nice start. I was thinking, man, if I could just keep him dizzy all the time, I could actually beat him. Well, probably not, because the rounds would run out of time before then. No, lately, for the cannabis addictions, I've been going to the milk trick. There was a nice girl from Iran who was teaching me how she was getting over her cannabis addictions. And same thing, is like she wanted to quit, but she needed something to get her over the cravings. And then she started trying raw milk, that whole fucking cannabinoid things that trigger the sensation that you're getting breast milk. So it's like, man, once you start drinking the raw milk, it almost ends that craving. I noticed too, like I keep reaching over to grab the vaporizer, I'm like, shit, I can't. You know, I didn't want to quit, like I was like, man, I want to just keep using the vaporizer every day. But the health side effects were getting really bad. Like I noticed my dentist, like he even commented, he's like, hey man, you're like fucking, your mouth is like a little bit weird, like he hasn't seen anything like it before. Was getting like this film buildup on my gums. It's not like I have bad teeth or gums, but it was turning them orange. And I know why, it's because the vaporizer oil turns everything like this reddish orange. Just like the honey oil color. Holy cow, hope I get my voice back. No, one of the worst side effects from quitting like cannabis, well, high concentrates, is the body odor thing. Oh. It's like, I don't know if I mentioned it before, the cannabis, when I was doing research and different alchemy experiments with cannabis at home, is I realized that cannabis is loaded with ammonia. And I did the experiment at home, just in case any of the viewers haven't heard before. I took my vaporizer, and you see this bottle? Yeah, now you can see it. How it sort of has like a water in the bottom, but it's not all ash like it's been used for a bomb. And the reason it doesn't turn black and ash is because there's no ash coming through the vaporizer. It doesn't heat up anything hot enough to burn. So only vapor goes through this. So you can see the vapor oil, yeah, this orangish color. That's when my teeth start turning. I don't know if anyone likes orange teeth. It's not so bad, but I kind of wish that my mouth was like normal again. Now, I was kind of thinking too, like a lot of these side effects that my vaporizer causes aren't really exclusive just to the vaporizer. It can come from excessive cannabis use. It's just my vaporizer makes it easier to do extreme large quantities with very small amounts of ash or any other things contaminating it. Alright, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, the experiment went where I took this vapor oil water, and I wanted to see what is in the water. So I took it, poured it into a glass, and set it on my radiator overnight in the winter. And if anyone doesn't know, radiators are like things in old houses to heat them. So I took the glass and checked it the next day, and all the water evaporated out. But there was this substance in the bottom of the glass. And it wasn't like a liquid, it was like a bit of like a crystallish, like all the liquid was gone, it was just the crystal left. Or a little bit of that orange color too. So then I went to smell it. I'm like, okay, well what's in here? So I smelled the fucking crystal. Guess what it smelled like? Like someone fucking took a piss in the glass. I was like, oh! It's like, who the fuck pissed in the glass when I wasn't looking? So I did the whole experiment again the next week. And I made sure that none of my roommates were around because my roommates never do pranks. But I just wanted to make sure because I was like, what the fuck, right? Like, how the hell did urine or piss get in my bong? I know I put water in it before. I mean, I don't recall ever pissing in it. So what happened was I did the experiment again like a couple weeks later after I like filled the vapor bottle with a decent amount. And then guess what happened? Same thing. Next day when I fucking checked it, filled with the crystal, smelled it, fucking reeks like piss. So I'm like, why the hell would my vapor oil water reek like piss? And at this point, I didn't even know what chemical piss was. So I went to Google and I started researching, like, what are the chemicals in cannabis? And then I found out that it was fucking ammonia. Ammonia is one of the strongest fucking chemicals in cannabis. It's like the most abundant out of all the chemicals in it. And I was like, holy shit, ammonia? I'm pretty sure I've heard of that before. And then I found out ammonia is what's in piss, right? So that's why it was reeking like piss. And I was so surprised too, because it smells just like my piss. So I was like, what the fuck, right? Like, how does like a plant produce ammonia that smells just like people's piss? But that's why, because it's loaded with ammonia. Then I went into the different research about why fucking our bodies use ammonia. And I found out it's a really super powerful antimicrobial, like antibiotic sort of thing that kills bacteria. That cleans out our whole body. And it's super toxic to most things, like bacteria and shit. But luckily, our body can process it out. And how it works is water. It turns out that ammonia sticks to one chemical the most out of any other. And guess what it is? Water. So that's why our bodies are using ammonia. It's because we needed something to process all the toxins out. And we needed something that could dissolve in water. So, just so happens nature programmed us to have fucking that shit. I think I'm 217. Otterbots? Yeah, so then I started to check into the medical benefits of ammonia to see if there was any, or like worse side effects. Then I found out that ammonia has been popular as like a chemical since the ancient times. Like even, I think it was the ancient Ammonians. It's like this ancient tribe, or like around even before Egypt, I think. And they were known as having really good ammonia. And that's why they were called the Ammonians or whatever. Which is weird, because I was looking into the science of it, and I don't think ammonia was actually separated as a chemical till much later. So I don't understand how that all worked, but... Yeah, some of my viewers were talking about that I should just fucking take the gold heroes, level them up crazy. But I was like, I don't even want to level up Founding Father anymore because he's so fucking weak. Like, it's ridiculous how weak he is. Oh yeah, this was yesterday's episode. Remember I brought in him and he was fucking dying all the time? So I switched it to him, much weaker character, just fucking slaughtered them. So I was like, this Beethoven guy is a fucking waste. I'm probably going to use him as DNA. Ah, fuck. No, I liked him at first, but then I realized just how shitty he was. That's probably why they offer him in the store, right? Because they just want you to use him for DNA. I don't know what it is. My room just keeps getting fucking hotter and hotter. I swear to God, I've gone up like 10 degrees since I started the stream. Like soaked in sweat. Whew. Now the other good thing about cutting back on cannabis or not using my vaporizer for a few days is when I go to sleep, it fucking, the whole body dreaming regulation cycle, I don't know, I probably talked about it in episodes before, but when you're a heavy cannabis concentrate user, eventually the chemicals will suppress all of your dreams so that you literally can't dream when you sleep. And that's why a whole bunch of fucking, when you look at potheads that like do dabs of concentrates all the time, they always have huge fucking circles under their eyes. It's because they're not really sleeping at all. They don't even realize in some cases that they're not reaching REM sleep. I don't know if you ever seen that Star Trek episode, but not reaching REM sleep is really dangerous. It's like super bad for your health. So, I don't know, I was actually arguing about this with some of my friends that use cannabis all the time. They're like, there's no way that's true. And one guy's like, I dream all the time. I've never had any difference in my dreams. So I asked him, like, well, when was the last time that you quit smoking cannabis? He hasn't quit for more than 2 hours, no, like 30 years. So I was like, well, buddy, it's like chances are you haven't been sober in 30 years. So you probably would dream more 30 years ago, and you've forgotten by now. Not to mention you're high as fuck all the time and can't remember anything. Ah, fuck, man. My team died again? You gotta be fucking kidding me. Sons of bitches. Yeah, and then I actually confirmed it by looking it up in the studies in the universities of the Netherlands. They did a lot of experiments on weed and people's dream cycles, and they confirmed it all too. I think what they said is it blocks 98% of your dreams, so you can still dream a little bit, but it's drastically less. It's like, oh yeah! I was thinking, why did they die? And then I looked, and I'm like, I have it on the wrong fucking element, that's why. Son of a bitch! No, hopefully as I don't use the vaporizer for a few more days, I'll continue to get my memory back a little bit more and a little bit more. I haven't decided how long I'm going to quit using the vaporizer. If I had to guess, I'll last as long as to my next back injury. And then once I got the back injury, I got no choice. Or I'll be fucking crippled if I can't use it. Man, this milk hits the spot. It's nothing like the milk cravings after vaping cannabis for a few months. Now, I think the last time that I quit smoking or vaping cannabis was about a year ago. So it's definitely overdue. I was running up the fucking tolerance way too high. I was getting to the point where I was like vaporizing a bowl that if you put it into a joint, it would get like 10 people high for like 7 hours. And I would take it all back in one hoot, not even catch a buzz. So I was like, holy fuck, man, my tolerance is way too high. Yeah, and if you ever wondered, like, if you wanted to test your tolerance, how you know it's too high, is edibles. It's like, like, edibles for THC cannabis and shit, you can usually buy them, what, 10 milligrams? And then if you fucking order them from, like, really, like, sketchy places, you can get way higher doses, like 100 milligrams. So back when I first started like just smoking cannabis, I could get a buzz from like anywhere between 10 and 100. It's like normally I'd eat maybe 30 or 40 milligrams and I'd be getting pretty wasted. But guess how many milligrams I could do after vaporizing? I was pushing 500 milligrams and not even catching a buzz. That's fucking like unreal, right? Like 500 milligrams of THC, that's almost like enough to affect an elephant. So I was like, holy shit, like how is this not having any effect on me? But then people noticed, like they said, hey man, you ate 500 milligrams, you don't look good. It's like your fucking skin's like turning colors and shit, like I'm gonna puke. I'm like, well man, I want to eat more, I'm not even catching a buzz yet. But then people advised against it. They're like, man, you shouldn't really be pushing 1,000 milligrams because I'm pretty sure that's like borderline going to the hospital. So I don't know, I'm looking forward to, after I quit vaporizing for a while, to be able to eat 10 milligrams and catch a buzz again. That'd be sweet. Now I'll try not to talk too fast too. That's one thing that cannabis concentrates do, if you haven't realized. It slows your voice down. So like when you talk, you're talking at a really slow pace. But then when I quit smoking or vaping, all of a sudden I'll be talking like Busta Rhymes. I can say 1,000 words a minute. And clear. Now I don't want to be completely ripping on cannabis this whole episode. Like as you can tell, like without cannabis I'd have to use like heroin or fucking some sort of like really strong painkiller with worse side effects. So I'm definitely not 100% against cannabis. I'm just one of those cannabis users who kind of like doesn't like to promote the idea that cannabis has no side effects. I don't believe that's true at all. I think cannabis has horrible side effects and entire lists of them. But compared to other drugs, it is the lesser of two evils in most cases. Yeah, what's the other thing? I was talking about the body regulation for body odor. Well, so the ammonia in our body is also destroying your bacteria from your armpits and stuff. So when you vaporize shitloads of high concentrate cannabis, it's putting a lot of ammonia already there. So your body's like, hey, I don't need to make extra ammonia and send it to the armpits. But once you quit, your body doesn't realize it, and all of a sudden you're not getting the ammonia to your armpits anymore. All of a sudden, like, your BO is going to reek so bad that people could smell it like across the street. And it's not like you could just go to the shower and wash it off. soon as you dry your skin and come out, it'll fucking reek instantly again. Because your body isn't regulating any of the fucking bacteria growth. So I don't know how long that lasts. I'm pretty sure the last time I did it is I quit for like, I think it was close to 6 months to a year. And it was a good like 2-3 months before I got rid of the body odor. And the same thing was like, I tried everything, like fucking hydrogen peroxide, like every chemical you can imagine to kill the BO. Just wasn't possible. And then I realized that it was weed because as soon as I smoked some weed, the smell would go away. So I was like, holy fuck, all I had to do is smoke a joint, not buy all those deodorant sticks. That's why I often wonder, like, hippies often say that they don't get BO too much, and I was like, how would that be? Like, if they're having hardly ever showering and stuff? But it was the whole fucking ammonia. They're flooding their body with ammonia, so it's actually killing a lot of the bacteria. Yeah, so that was the thing with the dream rebounding, is your body, same thing. The ammonia is going into your brain, controlling how often you dream. So if all of a sudden you quit doing cannabis, your body is no longer suppressing dreams anymore, and the chemical that your body normally makes to suppress dreams is turned off because it's used to the cannabis. So guess what happens? The second you go to sleep, well, first of all, falling asleep after you've quit concentrates is almost impossible. Like, the chemical that regulates how tired you are and if you're going to fall asleep is also connected to ammonia. So it's like, all of a sudden, like, your body used to be tired all the time. Like, you smoked a joint, get tired, need a nap. Smoke a joint, get tired, take 2 naps. And you keep repeating that over and over again. You're not even realizing that the weed is, like, always making you super tired. But then when you take it away from your body is no longer sending the chemical to tell you that you're tired and you need rest, because it's assuming that the weed is going to do it. But then the weed's not in your system, so you can't fall asleep. Now, one of the first times I quit cannabis like that, my fucking dreams, like, I couldn't fall asleep. I think it was about 72 hours, 3 days before I could fall asleep again. So I'm hoping tonight I'm able to sleep. Keeping my fingers crossed. I know I went the whole day just wide awake without ever even close to requiring a nap. And when I was vaporizing, I needed at least 2 naps a day. And sometimes even 2 hours each. It's fucking ridiculous how much I was sleeping. That's the one thing I don't like about weed, is if you're going to spend your whole life sleeping, is that really what you want to do? I know in some cases where maybe you're way behind on sleep because you've been working too much, well, yeah, then you would want to sleep. But if all you do is sleep, well, it's kind of a waste, right? Now, the other thing I noticed is when I quit vaporizing, my neck and my whole body starts seizing up pretty bad. That's when I found out that ammonia also regulates inflammation. I know with the big thing going on in the world right now, they're showing that cannabis is like one of the main treatments that's showing promise, and they're thinking it's CBD. I don't get it. Like, why all these scientists are so obsessed with CBD? CBD is nothing. It like doesn't have any properties, but ammonia does. So I don't get it. It's like maybe scientists are like knowing that it's the ammonia, but for some reason they keep going back to CBD because CBD would be easier to sell. Ammonia is so abundant you can never really sell it. Yeah, and then I found out what other things ammonia does. You know when you hockey players smell that thing, what is it, smelling salts? That's ammonia. Because they said that ammonia actually opens your lungs so that you can get more air in. So that's what I was wondering too, is like maybe that's connected to the whole thing I can't say. Yeah, so I don't know, like I can't really say that that's like what it is, but it's just my guess. Yeah, victory. Finally. Oh yeah, I forgot to change the element. Fuck. Alright, so I got 600 of those fucking tokens. I'm gonna go spend those in the store. So to be honest, guys, I am like really dying to do a vaporizer right now. But with all the horrible side effects I was getting, I've reached the point where it's like, I have to. There's no choice anymore. And really at this point too, it was an easy choice to make because I wasn't even catching a buzz anymore. So really, what's the point of smoking weed all the time if you don't even catch a buzz? You're just ruining your body for nothing. Alright, I was going to go into the store, and I was going to go to the guild. Fuck, finally starting to get some memory. Yeah! Oh yeah, that's what I was going to do. I'm going to check the hero and see which element. I think it's green, but I want to make sure. Alright, he's full. Yeah, Geronimo's green. So I'm going to go get some green. The greens. Alright, let's go with 10 greens, and I'll feed them to him. Now I'll show you guys too, the heroes that I got in the campaign mode, they're getting up there. Alright, I've already reached the cap. That's a good sign. No, so when you do fall asleep though, you get those dreams that are so vivid. Like the second you fall asleep to the second you wake up, just non-stop dreaming. And I'm not like talking like average dreams. I'm talking like the most vivid dreams you've ever had. Like just non-stop. So I don't know, like has anyone else ever experienced that when they quit vaporizing concentrates, they get that boost of dreams? If you want to check it out, like the article that I'm quoting it from is a study, or no, it was a study done by a professor in the Netherlands, but Vice covered it because they're like, Vice covers like really wild shit. So when Vice covered it, they fucking talked all about it. Like how, what is it, sleeping pills. The professor, the doctor in the Netherlands, he determined that cannabis and sleeping pills were having the same effect. They caused that dream rebounding. So it's not just exclusive to cannabis. They said what happens if someone takes sleeping pills for say like 10 years every day, then they stop, they'll get that same rebound. Where all of a sudden they get fucking dreams like crazy. So I think the researchers were a little bit surprised that cannabis causes that. Ah, fuck. I think what's going on here is I got too many of those fucking extra heroes. I gotta get rid of them. Probably haven't done it in a few days and they built up. Oh yeah. No, but I'm kind of fortunate, cursed, depending how you want to look at it. Is my family has like a lot of like dream history, where my grandmother from Eastern Europe was like a dream psychic or whatever it's called. Visionary. Where her dreams were so accurate that people would pay her money to try to dream what was going to happen. So the same thing happens to me. I don't know, like, inherited it or what it is. But when I do cannabis all the time, it really doesn't happen anymore because I'm not really dreaming. But when I quit the cannabis and I get those fucking vivid dreams, I was freaking people out last time because when I did the experiment, what I would do is not fucking vaporize any cannabis, start getting these really vivid dreams, and I'd wake up every morning at like 5 a.m. and start recording what I dreamt, and then watch throughout the day what events would come to pass. And it was like getting fucking scary accurate. Like the one day I was dreaming that some guy set himself on fire. I'm like, holy shit, man, that's a fucked up dream, right? So I wrote it down in Facebook saying that I bet you on the news today we're going to see someone set themselves on fire. And then lo and behold, what happened in Toronto that day, some fucking crazy guy set himself on fire. And it was all over the news. So like everyone, when they heard me make that prediction and then all of a sudden later in the day it happened, everyone's like, holy fuck, right? Like, I know, even me too. It does freak me out in a way because it makes me wonder, like, what is with life? Like, how is it that our universe is like predetermined, where our dreams can see what's going to happen? It's almost like we're playing out a movie or something. I don't know, it's a pretty fucked up situation. Now that's how I got into all the ancient mystery research and stuff. I used to be really into following my dreams and going on adventures, where they would lead me. Some of the fucking places I would end up, it was mind-blowing. I should tell you the story about the ultimate coincidence. I think it happened, yeah, when I was doing the quitting from weed. But anyways, I was going up on north to go visit a holy mountain. And I knew the trip was going to be really dangerous. Like chances that I wouldn't even make it, like climbing a mountain, that's fucking dangerous, right? So I decided I was going to go on a trip to another city that I had never been to in my whole life. That was like 2 hours away. I was like, I'm just going to go to this city, fucking party it up, live the life before I risk everything, right? It was funny because I knew when I was going up north that my buddy was going to be there because he lives up north. And I was going to hang out with him and climb the mountain. And the weirdest thing is, like, I didn't even know he had siblings. Because, like, I was his friend since high school, but his parents divorced, and he never mentioned that he had siblings, like, on the other side of the family. So guess what happens when I go to this city? The city's called London, and it's like London, Ontario. People that are from Canada will know it. It's a fucking giant city. And I meet up with, like, this protest group, because I was into, like, filming protests at that time. So I met up with this protest group, and we're doing this whole protest thing. It was actually a topless event, where these girls all wanted to go topless, and they wanted a couple big guys around just to make sure no shit went down. So I was like, I was actually having anxiety issues about going topless myself, because I was overweight and didn't look the most attractive. So I'm like, hey, this is a prime opportunity to get to hang around with a whole bunch of topless chicks that want help, and I can get over my own fears at the same time. I figured if there's a whole bunch of topless chicks around, what are the odds of people be looking at my shirt, or lack of a shirt? Yeah, so I fucking hung out with a whole bunch of topless chicks for the whole day. Newspaper came, fucking took my picture with them and all. I made it onto the front page of the fucking newspaper. So the next day when I was walking around, everyone in the city's like, yeah, good work, man. And I was like, I'm like, oh yeah, the picture. Yeah, that was quite the experience. But anyways, while that night was going, it came time to the end of the protest, and there was like a whole bunch, I guess there was two really smoking hot fucking university chicks, and they wanted me to go party with them after the fucking protest was over. So I was like, oh, that's really tempting, right? Like smoking hot chicks, hanging out with them the whole day, made friends with them. They want to go back and party after party. But then there was this like another chick who was like a little bit lonely, or she was acting really shy and like nervous, and she was like, hey, like, instead of going to party with those girls, could you walk me to the car so I can get back safely? And I'm like, oh fuck, like there's my good guy attitude again. It's like I didn't even really have a choice in the matter. I'm like, fuck, I gotta go help this chick. She actually needs help, compared to just going and partying with like girls that are probably a little bit too young for me anyways, even though I was only maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 years older than them. It's not like 20 years or something. But anyways, yeah, so this girl, I end up walking her back to her car, and it turns out it's her boyfriend's car. So it's like her boyfriend was like a little bit pissed that I was hanging out with her, so it was a little bit awkward of a situation, but I was still glad that I did it. I'm like, I did the right thing. I helped out a chick and lost out with fucking making out with the hot chicks, but I did the right thing in the end. And so what happens is that girl adds me as a friend on Facebook because I was nice enough to walk her to her car. And then I noticed that she had a common friend. I'm like, well, that's weird. It's like this common friend, like I didn't know anyone in London. It's a whole city of strangers. So I was like, what are the odds? Like I think it was 2 million people. And I have like maybe 5, 6 friends in my city. So anyways, yeah, what happens is that girl happened to be the sister of the guy that I was going to go climb the mountain with. I'm like, what are the fucking odds, right? So that was one of those things where I was like, that is the ultimate coincidence. So I was thinking, like, if you're on the right path in life, you'll start to see coincidences like that occurring all the time. It's almost like a sign. I don't know what it is. Yeah, so that was the weirdest story I think that ever happened to me with coincidences. No, well, until I got to the Holy Mountain, but I'll do that a whole nother story. That was a fucked up situation. Alright, let's see what we got. I want to do some arenas, and I'm fucking boiling hot, and we gotta do a quick message from the sponsor. Alright. Today's show is brought to you by Crack. Crack. It'll fuck you up. Come on. Come on. Excuse me, guys. Oh, excuse me. Oh yeah, this is the arena. I forgot today's episode I was supposed to be doing some arenas. Alright, so what else is new with Clone Evolution? Yeah, some of the people in the chat were posting that they managed to beat the arena every time. I was like, man, that's pretty sick. Good for you. No, I think the guy who's telling me that actually does his own YouTube channel for Clone Evolution, so maybe we can collaborate at some point. I actually watched his videos a few times with my concussion. I usually have it on mute. So I'll have to try to turn the audio on so I can actually hear the guy talk. I don't think he does video during it, it's just audio, but that's cool. It's like if he wants to be an audio guest on mine, maybe we can talk Clone Evolution while I play. Or vice versa. I guess it would work better on mine. And what I'm going to do too... Oh, that's shit. I'm going to uninstall and reinstall the software XSplit. Because when I do that, it seems to clear up something. Like it just runs faster. It doesn't do all that lag where the audio isn't synced. So I'll have to uninstall, reinstall, and then I should be able to do a guest show. Oh yeah, and I've got another guest show coming up. I lined up a guest to talk about my gravity well research. So if anyone's into some pretty wild, advanced gravity technology, you can check that out too. Or just stick with the Clone Evolution, whatever floats your boat. Right, so that's the rest of the general arena. Next we'll go to the cross-server arena. Jeez, my computer sounds like a fucking jet taking off again. You know, that's the one major advantage, I have to admit. Like everyone's like, oh, switch to OBS, switch to OBS. For me, OBS, I can never get it working, because that's the main reason I don't use it. But the few times that I did get it working, fuck was it ever fast. Like, you know how like when you do a live stream, it tells you like your computer and how much it's using? When I use OBS, it doesn't use my computer resources at all. It's almost like zero that it's using. And then when I run the XSplit, it runs it up around 60, 70, even 80% usage just to run the software. So that's fucked, right? Like I don't understand. Why is XSplit using system resources drastically more than OBS? They really got to fix that. I was hoping that this new version would fix that, but to be honest, I'm pretty sure it's identical. Unless after I fucking format and reformat, maybe it'll fix it then. Or uninstall and reinstall it. I'm not going to format my computer, fuck that. Yeah, so maybe that's some future collaborations we can set up. Holy crap, I got two of the Wright brothers to fight here. Now, the other good news too is now that I'm quitting the vaporizing, I'm going to get a little bit of head start into my fucking weight loss journey. I started off at 210. I haven't weighed myself today, but it's only been one day of not eating junk food. So I'm going to have to wait till maybe tomorrow or the next day. And oh yeah, when you quit smoking cannabis, I'm sure you've noticed this one, is it also regulates your appetite. So if you all of a sudden quit smoking high potency concentrates, you won't get hungry for a few days. Like the whole day today, I didn't get hungry at all. Not even the slightest like grumble or anything. And it's like all I did was take a supplement in the morning and that's it. And then other people in the house were like, hey man, you should eat something. I'm like, oh yeah, I almost forgot. Not even hungry the whole fucking day. Yeah, so that's one of the main advantages if you're looking to lose weight. If you can cut back on cannabis or quit it altogether for a few days, it fucking helps like big time. Every time I reach over, I'm like, vaporizer, vaporizer. I want it so bad. Now, for me in cutting cannabis out, it bugs me for like the first 2 or 3 days, I think, where I'm always reaching for the vaporizer. It's like such a habit. But once I get like a couple days, maybe even a week down, fuck, I don't even miss it. The only time I start to miss it again is when I fuck up my back. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Alright, let's check the fucking limited event status and see what shit we got going on. Oh yeah, the carnival. That's what I was supposed to be doing. Or not carnival, tavern, for fuck's sakes. Yeah, and for all the people that have been watching the show to see me vape, don't worry. I definitely won't be quitting forever. I kind of wish that I could. It won't be happening. No, what I would really like to do is maybe wait until fucking harvest season and then do some weed again. So I don't keep wasting so much money on it. Like, the OCS weed is really good. I fucking love it, but God, does the bills ever add up quick? Right, so I got 71 of these bottle cap openers. And I was asking people how many did I need to defeat it, and no one answered. So I really don't know if 71 is enough. I highly doubt it. So I'm gonna wait to do the big missions until rescue the refugees. Rescue the refugees. Alright, let's spin the casino 2 times. Just enough for the extra bonus. Come on. Like, I'm clicking and it's not going. Piece of shit. Alright, here's one spin. What will I get? I was gonna say that's the exact robot it landed on yesterday. And then it landed on this. Or this. So let's see where it lands today. Oh! Yeah, fuck, man. It had me convinced that it was gonna land on him. You bastard. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. A little bit of robots. No, so I think maybe that's what I'll do, guys. Maybe I'll give you guys a treat too. And I'll start doing some of my dream work. Record the show in the morning instead of the evening. We'll see how it goes. Tomorrow, like, I've usually been doing the Entropia shows during the morning and the Clone Evolution ones at night. But I might just switch them both over to the morning. Yeah, that'll be the big thing too. Like, now that I've quit using cannabis for the time being, I'll be able to wake up at the crack of dawn, no problem. We'll see how it affects my workouts though, because that's one thing that I really love about weed. It's like the secret to working out. It's like when I get a really boring workout that I don't want to do, and I smoke some weed or vaporize it, all of a sudden that workout seems amazing. Like the most fun thing you could ever do. So I'm gonna miss that. Like, usually working out isn't really very fun, so it's kind of nice to have something that makes it fun. But we'll see how it goes. Like, really, I could throw up my back tomorrow and then I'll already be back on it, so we'll see. No, the high oh yeah, that was the other good news I had today. I was thinking every time that I quit weed, for a time being, I get a lot of shit done. Like, everything that I've been putting off for a long time, all of a sudden I have the energy to complete. So one of the things I've been putting off for years is I was thinking about becoming a professional disc golf player. Not that I'm the best disc golfer in the world or anything, but well, it's pretty rare that I lose. Like, I don't know, out of like 200 games a season, I'll maybe lose 2 or 3. So, I don't know, like, I played against pros in tournaments before, and they kicked my ass, but I was having bad games then. So I was like, all I have to do is land a good game during a tournament, and I think I could win a prize or two. I don't think I'll win it all or anything, but I'm hoping not to get last place. That's really my goal. I felt really bad too. The last time I competed in a tournament, I was telling everyone, I'm like, in the vehicle that we were driving to the tournament, I'm like, guys, I don't care how I do, as long as I don't get last place. Last place would be like such an embarrassment. I'd be a fool, and I'd be a laughing stock. So we went and played the tournament, and I did really good. I made it onto the lead card for the second round, but then my back fucked up, and my game fell apart. But even because my first round score was so high, I actually still finished pretty good, even though I blew the second round. So anyways, when I got back to the van, I talked to all my friends. I'm like, shit guys, I didn't get last. I'm so happy. And then I'm like, how did you guys do? And the one guy's like, I got last. I was like, ooh. Felt so bad. He was ripping the last place for all that time, and I never would have guessed that he would have got last. Because he was a good player. I was like, how the fuck did you get last? I guess he just had a game of bad luck and he was hitting a lot of trees. I don't know if I told you guys the helmet story. No, when I first got an electric bike, I got the mountain bike style one, so you can still do jumps and tricks on mountain bike, but it has the electric, so you can go faster by battery power. And they had these rules, so you had to buy a helmet. So I'm like, fuck, now I gotta go buy a motorcycle helmet. So I went to the motorcycle store. First thing that I do when I get there is I ask them, I'm like, my head's pretty big, I think. I'm like, do you have large size helmets? It's like this little kid, maybe like 14 or I guess probably 16, legal working age. He's like, oh, don't worry, sir. Unless your head is as big as a freak, we got a helmet for you. We make them in all sizes. Right? So I'm like, oh, thank God. I don't have to worry about no big helmets, right? So we go over to the helmet section. He's like, here, try a few on. See which one you like the fit of. So I go for the helmet that looks pretty big. Put it on. I'm like, man, this is pretty tight still. It almost fits. I'm like, you got one size bigger. I show him the helmet. He's like, sure, I'll go get you one size bigger. And then all of a sudden he starts going pale. I'm like, what's the matter? He's like, sorry, sir. This is the largest size they make. I was like, oh, fuck. It's like, didn't you just say that I'd be a freak if I couldn't fit in the helmet? I was like, man, that was like the most awkward sales situation ever. And I'm like, okay, I'll just buy the helmet because they didn't make any bigger ones. Oh shit. Yeah, while you guys were gone, I came back with my other teams and tried to fight this place and beat it. And I managed to kill another person, but I just couldn't kill the last two. It's funny, these last two, this Alex guy was so good at healing that I couldn't kill him because no matter how much I hit him, he would just heal himself back to full. So I'm looking forward to having Alex on my team now, after seeing how strong he really is. I don't think his attacks were that good, but fuck man, that infinite health is a big plus. I think I've started to notice the power of my mouse giving out, so I'll try to finish today's show without having to change batteries. Holy fuck. It's like so hot, it feels like my brain is melting. Oh, I don't even need a vaporizer, I'm catching a buzz. Now I was gonna hit the booze tonight because I'm like, oh fuck, I'm jonesing so bad, I need a buzz. But I'm like, man, I shouldn't jump right to booze. Should I try to at least give it a day or two between? Hey, I never even noticed Sword God is on a skateboard, eh? Ah, cool breeze from outside. Oh. Yeah, sorry guys, I promised that I was going to do the arena battles today. I don't know what happened. I just sort of got sidetracked talking there. Went back to the daily grind. So... maybe what I'll do, collect this, And, oh yeah, the ordinary clones. I don't know, does it go to 24 in the reset, or is that counting down? Yeah, it's counting down. I knew it. Every time I use this middle one, and hit it at 1, I've never even got blue. It's always green, 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 green. Oh, I thought that was going to be there. Alright, that was all the daily tasks complete. Hitting the mouse and it just fucking won't close this. What is going on? There we go. Oh, now what? Fuck. I don't know if it's my mouse that's unresponsive or what. Alright, so both of these are going to require multiple hours to finish, so I won't have time to do those. But let's check the limited event, see what my arena status is at. It says I got 2 more victories to win that, so let's do that. Yeah, my power level's getting up there. Yeah, so does anyone else smoke weed and able to quit for quite a while? And then what's your record for quitting? Do you guys usually quit for a day or 2, months, years, what? I think my record for quitting is maybe 9 months, something like that. Yeah, so now that I'm a professional disc golfer, I'm going to have to put a little bit more time into my disc golf stuff. I was thinking I should go to the driving range and practice, but to be honest, my disc golf driving is actually the strongest part of my game. I almost never miss drives anymore. Like I can shoot maybe like 200 drives and miss 1. So I don't really need to practice those anymore. But what I do need to practice is putting. Just like regular golf, putting is a big part of the game. So I think tomorrow I'm going to go into my yard, set up the putting basket, and just fucking practice putting like crazy. Well, not like too crazy because I'll fucking get injured, but... No, normally, like, I got into a car accident when I was a teenager too, where I was on a bicycle and a person ran a stop sign and I fucking went into the side of their car. And I went shoulder first into the car, fucking dislocated it badly, and I needed to get it popped back in. But the person that was driving the car started moving it while I was under the car. So I fucking like started moving to get out and it just fucking popped right back in. So I was like, oh, thank God. But my shoulder's never been the same. I fucked up my collarbone a little bit too when I did it and it never healed right. Another case where I didn't get a dime out of it. Well, I'm not really into suing people, so I'm kind of glad that worked out like that. But man. God, if I was into suing people, I'd probably be a millionaire by now. Well, easily. I've gotten injured so many times by shit other people have done to me. Oh, God. Well, at least the last accident was more my own fault just from rushing. But it did happen at work, so I definitely would have never been injured if it wasn't for that job. The only thing I look about it on the bright side is maybe my gravity well research. Oh, go to reach for the vape again. Maybe it'll be a little bit productive. I've noticed it's a little bit better than some people's. Other people's have better, but we'll see. Yeah, if you guys have never checked out gravity well technology, it's pretty amazing. It's like not only can you terraform planets, you can create species, you can time travel, fucking create matter. Pretty much once we unlock gravity well technology, and our entire existence will change dramatically. Like I was just thinking, like that's a pretty fucking advanced technology to be able to not only terraform a planet, but to also create life forms on it. It's like we could even create people with terraforming. Like if you had gravity wells, you could terraform a planet and set it up so that people would evolve naturally on it. And that started to get me to wonder. I'm like, well, how the fuck did we get on Earth, right? So it's like maybe someone invented gravity well technology and seeded us with it. It was so weird too, because before my concussion I didn't even believe in gravity wells. I always thought Einstein was full of shit. Well, I know that Einstein was full of shit, but I thought all of his research was full of shit. No, when I really started to get into it, I found out that Einstein was actually a hoax. I didn't even know about it. And how that worked was, like, back in the olden days, they didn't have, like, social media and shit, so when there's some sort of weird hoax going on, the whole world wouldn't find out about it. It's like they could keep it under wraps a lot easier. And what it turned out is Einstein actually wasn't, like, this super genius that everyone had, like, in the media was making him out to be. What it turned out is Einstein worked at the patent office, and he had that form of autism where he could memorize books. So it's like you could give him a textbook, he would read it, and he'd have it memorized page for page. You could like ask him what word was on the 5th page, on the 6th line down, he could tell you. So that made him perfect for repeating like other people's work. And then he worked at the patent office. So what happened was Einstein back in the day used to get into battles with real scientists because they were the ones writing the books that Einstein would read, and then Einstein would claim that it was all of his work. And then these scientists are like, what are you talking about, Einstein? You're providing no sources of information. Meanwhile, I just gave you a paper that said everything like 6 months before you published this. But Einstein had the whole thing where he was a propaganda agent for the expansion of Israel, so pretty much anything he could say, it would get covered up, like, oh yeah, and some of the shit Einstein would do. So I didn't even know, did you guys ever read, like, what Einstein was known for? It's like in media, he was known for being the super genius and all this shit, but outside of the academics, other people used to write about him, and he was like the world's, like, what is it, worst husband. Where he would have a whole list of stuff that he would tell his wife what she could do and couldn't do. Right, well, today's episode's done because the game froze again. I don't know, has anyone else been having clone evolution issues where you can't play for more than an hour before it crashes? I was thinking maybe yesterday's stream was just something to do with maybe updates they were doing. But it seems like the game consistently crashes on me now. Reminds me of Entropia. It's had that crashing issues before too. It's like, holy fuck, man. Are these veins bulging or what? That's what the heat does. Alright, so for today's episode, if you happen to have some chocolate milk and you're drinking it and you coughed and sprayed chocolate milk all over the room and some of it got into your vaporizer and you accidentally vaporized chocolate milk, well, fuck that shit and give it a dislike. But if you happen to like the show, make sure you give it a like, share, and all that jazz. And also, don't forget to open the more links button. Check out what I got in there. I keep adding new links in there. Most of them are just to get paid for watching videos, listening to music, playing video games, and for cashback purchases online. I've got offers for everything in that underneath the more links. And if any of you guys have your own sites, like that one guy who has his Clone Evolution site, if he wants to sign up for swag bucks, get the affiliate link and start promoting on his site too. It's like I highly recommend doing that because, man, that's what I was thinking. If my channel sucks balls and it never does reach it to monetization, at least I got a little bit of income coming in from the show just from my affiliate links. And heck, oh yeah, I also got a Patreon. So if you guys want to join my other patrons that are already subscribed to monthly shit, now that I've been cutting back on the vaporizer, I should have a shitload more energy to get the Patreon stuff done. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do, guys. For the next little while I'm able to quit vaporizer, I'm going to fucking go hardcore to get some shit done. Get all the fucking Patreon stuff done. Get my vlogging shit done. Get my weight loss shit done. Got a whole list of stuff that's on the go. Yeah, so I appreciate you guys for continuing to watch the show. Hope you still support it, even if I'm not able to vaporize for a few episodes. Hope that doesn't bug you too much. I know a lot of people are posting that they love the vaporizer, so fuck, I love it too. And I want to get back to it as soon as possible. Alright, well, thanks guys for watching the show. I really appreciate it. And what was it? Oh yeah, shit. Never fucking buy the products from my sponsor, because it will ruin your life. Worse than my vaporizer will. Or maybe. Remember, don't forget to subscribe. Also, watch the playlist. Heck, if you can't even watch the playlist, just let it play while you're at work.